How do you move away from living paycheck to paycheck? And what are the steps that you need to take to pull this off? In this video, I'm going to be talking about all the steps that you can and should take to stop living paycheck to paycheck. And these steps still apply to you even if you're in debt. Also, I want you guys to tell me this. After you get paid, right? What percentage of your paycheck do you actually have after you've taken care of all of your living expenses and bills? Comment below and let me know. Now, if you're new to the channel or you're watching one of my videos for the very first time, my name is Ian and I post videos here on YouTube every single day on topics relating to making money and personal finance. So if you'd like to see more of these videos, then give this video a thumbs up, as that's the way these videos get recommended to more people here on YouTube. I'll really appreciate it. And also consider subscribing to this channel and turning on all notifications. And that way you'll be able to get the updates every day when I post a new video here. Now, the first step to take if you want to move away from living paycheck to paycheck is to do an audit of your finances. If you get paid every Friday morning, but by the end of Friday, all your money is gone and you can't tell where it all went, then that's the first problem that we need to address. And you need to be very detailed here. Don't just know that you spend about $200 on subscriptions. Find out exactly what they are and how much each expense that you have really costs you. It's like having $2,000 in credit card debt, but at the same time having a subscription to Amazon Prime and YouTube Premium and some streaming services and cable and other subscriptions when you could live without some of these and pay down your debt or pay it off in a few weeks of pausing these subscriptions. This is the easier part though. The harder part of this is first answering a very important question. You need to ask yourself why you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, because maybe you make so much money that living paycheck to paycheck is acceptable to you and you don't really want or need to change. However, if you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck because you realize that you either have a lot of debt and you want to pay it off quickly, or you want more control over your money and your finances, then that's a start. This way, you'll actually start to take action because you have an end goal or some result that you need to get to by removing the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. Now, the second step here is to now list these expenses that you have and all your income sources. And we may have talked about this in another video before, but this step is still applicable here. If you use debit and credit cards, then this will be easier because you can simply pull the transactions or reports from your bank account or your credit card account. However, if you use cash a lot, then you may need to find the receipts and create a list yourself. And on this list, you have expenses on one side and income on the other. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, then your expenses will be either equal to or greater than your income, which is very bad. However, right here is where the importance of the previous step comes in, because you now have all these expenses which you can all justify and say, well, yes, I need this streaming service, and yes, I need YouTube Premium because I don't want to watch the ads, and I still need cable because I need to watch 2 hours of TV on my day off. And you can justify everything that is an expense. If you have a reason why you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, then things are a bit different. Let's say you have $10,000 in credit card debt at a 30% interest rate. You'll want to pay that off in a year and not drag it over 2 to 3 years, because then you'd end up paying twice the amount. Because you know that you want to get out of this debt, you're more likely to now remove expenses that you like, but you still realize that getting out of debt is more important, and you'll be more willing to sacrifice something that you actually like and want, but don't necessarily need. So this way you can remove some of these expenses and not make any excuses or justify having them anymore. And this can even be temporary until you stop living paycheck to paycheck and you get out of all the debt if that was the reason you wanted out. The next step here is an exercise that I want you to do, and we aren't making any decisions just yet, but we are doing an exercise, and this is simply to take the list of all your expenses, or put all your expenses on one side of this list and all your income on the other side. We're going to strike everything on the expense side that you can live without. And when I say live without, the purpose of this exercise isn't to remove these things, but to see how much money they actually total. So strike everything that you can absolutely survive without, even if you want them and you plan on always keeping them. Strike it if it's not a rent payment or a mortgage payment or bills or some other basic living expense. When you have done this, you will then subtract everything that's left on the list from your income, and this should surprise you. You may think that you spend maybe $100 or $200 a week on things that you don't need, but in reality, you could be spending double what you think. And now, when you complete this exercise and you get the amount that is left after all the basic expenses, I want you to think about how far this could go towards your goal or whatever reason you had for trying to end the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. So if you had $10,000 in credit card debt and you were making payments of $100 per month, then you would pay this off in maybe 8 to 10 years. If you're living paycheck to paycheck and you do this exercise and you realize that you have $1,000 free after basic expenses, chances are that you're not going to really want to use that money to pay this debt off, because now an 8 to 10 year debt that you would be fighting with can be gone in as little as 10 months. So now, instead of being tempted to spend money on things you like and want, you will start to get tempted to pay off the debt or use the money for whatever you want, because that goal suddenly starts to look attainable in the very near future, or much nearer than you originally planned before. It's like paying off your home early. If you make an extra mortgage payment every month on a 30-year mortgage, you will reduce that 30 years to about 9 years on average. When you think about having no rent or mortgage to pay after 9 years, it gets you going because you're more excited about that or some other goal than having your wants right now. The next step is to now decide how much of your newfound money you want to contribute towards getting out of the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, and I would recommend all of the free money that you can find in your budget. You then need to get rid of all the consumer debt, which includes credit cards and personal loans, because they're usually very high interest debts and they cost too much. So work on a plan to pay off all your credit cards and personal loans so you never have those monthly payments, which frees up even more money in your budget. So if you have $1,000 free, then you can decide to reuse all of it to pay down on your debts, or you can decide to keep some of your wants that were on the list and use maybe some of this money to pay down on your debts. You ultimately decide what you want to do here. The next step is to be smart with your money. Part of this has to do with fees. Banking fees are a no-no, especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck. If you have a bank account that charges you a monthly fee or any fees, then cancel it and move your money to SOFI, where you get a free account that pays interest and you get ATM transactions that don't cost you anything either. That's part A of this step, and I'll leave a link to that below. Now, part B of this step is to use only rewards credit cards. So if you have credit cards that charge you annual fees and other fees and also gives you no rewards, then it's time to stop using them or to start thinking about other credit cards that are free and will give you cash back. Now, I'm not telling you to get into more debt here. There is a correct way to use credit cards, and I have an entire video on that, but you want to spend only what you budget for on your credit cards and then pay it off in full immediately. This way you get the rewards. So instead of you using your debit card to make purchases which gives you nothing in return, simply put the same purchases on rewards credit cards so you can get the rewards, whether it's 1% in cash back or 2% in cash back or even 5% in cash back. This way you manage your money better and you start to get better value. If you can pay your utilities and your mortgage on a credit card, that is also good because you can get cash back as opposed to getting nothing when you pay with cash or a debit card. Now, the final step here is to increase your income. This can be getting a better job, and by better job, I mean one that pays more, or you could work somewhere else and do the very same thing that you do right now and get paid more, or maybe you have a side hustle or a business, but you're just not making enough money as yet. Use free resources like YouTube to learn more, which is free, and then apply what you learn to make more money. As an example, I have business ideas on this channel that you can start with only $1,000, and I also have business ideas that you can start with $0. So wherever you are, you can learn how to make more money. If you increase your income while completing all the other steps I just talked about, then living paycheck to paycheck will be a thing of the past. Comment below and let me know what you are doing to stop living paycheck to paycheck, and let me know which one of these steps you were able to use to make the most impact on you getting there. I hope you guys found this video very helpful, and if you'd like to see more of these videos, then be sure to give this video a thumbs up, as that's the way these videos get recommended to more people here, and I'll really appreciate it. And also, don't forget to check out some of my other videos here on this channel on credit cards, banking apps, savings accounts, personal finance, investments, ways to make money, and much more. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and be sure to turn on all notifications for this channel, as that's the only way you'll be able to get the updates when I post new videos. And remember guys, I'll be posting a video here every single day on YouTube. Now, I'm also leaving a couple links down below to free stuff, free cashback offers, so be sure to check all the links down below in the description for all kinds of free stuff. Once again, I hope this video was very helpful. All the best with getting out of debt and breaking the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow.